Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gifts, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, glad to have you here. Oh look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee. You sure?
It's cultist coffee.
What makes it cultist coffee? I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it. Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Hey, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Welcome to the office. Welcome to my home. Welcome to the morning grind. I'm Heath, your host for this morning. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. I feel like I'm out of gas. So this is going to be a pretty chill morning, I think. I started kind of feeling like that last night and then this morning as well. Yesterday, I was working on the table talk clips. We wanted to get Arcane clipped. And I was trying to send to record some instructional videos about how we can do more clips of the table talk channel to get that in the hands of other people, because I am doing everything I can do. And that would be something that somebody else could do. And we have somebody who is interested in doing that for us. But you know, you've got to teach somebody what to do. And then also, of course, moving around those massive table talk files is a big thing. So I did, getting them organized and then, sent over to somebody and sunk, online. I mean, that takes a lot of organization and time. And I got that done yesterday afternoon. And then I was like, all right, now I'm going to sit here. I'm going to work on the actual Rabavania stories. and I'm going to have a glass of wine, and it's time, a glass of red wine, and it's time to sit and write like I used to do. But I was just completely not capable of writing. And then this morning, I was sitting here for about an hour, and I got nothing done this morning either. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'm feeling like I'm just out of gas. So this is gonna be a chill morning, and then I'm gonna go, basically not work on anything today. Once I leave here, I'm gonna go stand up, walk around, go for a walk, clean the house, get away from the computer. Maybe that'll be better. Sometimes you need to do that. Hey, PH. Good morning. Robert, I see, is reporting good news. Robert says, I got the game to create graphics mode in GPT Maker. Lots of fun, although it slows down gameplay. Is this something we can check out? I noticed that I'm still connected to the Children of the Grave. Is that something that's in Children of the Grave right now that I could look at? And the images, although interesting, tend to be somewhat inconsistent. On the other hand, mastering both the storytelling and visual element is where the future is. So, okay, that's fascinating. See, I was going to sit down this morning and I was going to try to figure out how to get it to connect to an API. And my mind was just bouncing around between a whole bunch of things and didn't have any type of real, any kind of focus to it. There's several different things that I need to do. But I'm going to get up, walk around, then after lunch, I'm going to do a few things that have to get done, but otherwise, I'm just breaking. Good morning, Lynn and Charlie. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see. PH says, I just had lunch and dessert. I'm sipping on some pineapple juice. Oh, it's been a long time since I've had pineapple or pineapple juice. Used to drink it all the time as a kid, like in a fruit salad. When we were making fruit salad for like Sunday lunch, I always wanted the pineapple juice. I know. Yeah, I know. Okay, so Inner Light says working on a GPT as well. Fun. All right, let's see. What are we doing here this morning? So I'll bring up this. Yesterday, if you're looking for something really good to watch, yesterday over here on the Table Talk channel, I re-aired my second conversation with Cameron, where we talk about good and evil and storytelling, and we talk about the relationship that Islam has with Dungeons and Dragons and fantasy, and Dungeons and Dragons fantasy, where we are with biblical storytelling or and things like that. It was a really fantastic conversation. So if you want to discuss things like that, or that's just an hour and 10-minute conversation right over here with Cameron on the Table Talk channel, it's a really good conversation. We talked about the gray heroes. Does everything have to be good and evil? Always have to be gray? Are we robbing something about not having black and white in storytelling so much anymore? So that was a great conversation. So if you missed that, that's wonderful. Please do check that out. I'm going to skip. See, the cultists, we brought in more people for the cultists. I would like to try to get out Brianna's director commentary today, but that's kind of low priority for episode 1. But I noticed that we brought in about another 25 subscribers yesterday. That was pretty cool. But hey, let's take a look at some news here. Actually, I saw this in the Discord server. And I'm one of the things I got to check is to make sure the links I'm handing out for the Discord server are actually accurate. So I'll put that in here. In the Discord server, Ravenkeep Discord server, I saw a YouTube video that was posted about Diablo. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Is there about to be a Diablo RPG again? I mean, there should be. And lo and behold, I went and looked for it. So in fact, I'll post this in the Discord server as well on the morning grind. Here's the link to Diablo, although you can find it pretty easily. I just looked up tabletop RPG. So this says Diablo, the board game, and Diablo, the role-playing game. I remember I was super excited. Oh, yeah, yes, I sent you the new link. Okay, excellent. Oh, it's a separate version. Okay, I will check. Okay, excellent. Anyway, I remember being really excited about there being a Diablo RPG years and years and years ago. I think that was right when the SRD had come out and things like that. And there was going to be a Diablo RPG. I think I pre-ordered it from someplace, either the bookstore or the game store or something like that. And then it's one of the products that I was most disappointed with in all time. If you remember the Diablo, like Dungeons and Dragons Diablo RPG book, it was probably the most disappointing book to me that as far as something that you're looking forward to. All right, I've got it. Oh, did I even buy it? Maybe I didn't pre-order it. Maybe I never, maybe I owned it. I don't remember. But it might have been so bad. Maybe I didn't pre-order it. Maybe I was going to get it. Oh, yeah, it's come out. And then I opened it up and was seeing what was in it. And it was just absolutely nothing interesting at all. So I was, so if they do it well, wow, all right. Well, I'm going to take another look at this because that deserves to really be done well. So the Diablo role-playing game, and it says it's got a board game beside it. So there's going to be a board game that comes out too, I guess. So get notified when the campaign launches. Or did I put this in here? Diablo RPG. Okay. James is saying that Cameron conversation is excellent. Yes, everyone is interesting. Hey, good morning, Wild Barley. Good morning. Good morning. Inner Light says, I'm working on a master program by this axe I hack. I was able to determine random numbers somehow since I rolled stats for character generation. One of the few things I did this morning was try to ask it about random number generation. And it said that it could do it. So, I mean, it would make sense. So, Diablo RPG. Was this second edition at the end of second? We played it together. Yeah, I think that we played it together. Yeah, one of us, because that's what I was thinking before you were in the chat. I was like, I think I remember looking at it at your house. So, one of us had it, but it was not anything like it should have been. It was nothing like I should have been. It was second edition at the end of second. We played it together. The Diablo, right? Yeah, I have the PDF. Let's see. So anyway, so that's coming. So we'll keep on track. We'll keep a lookout for this. I also noticed it says dark fantasy, the troubled and dispossessed invoke your aid in a realm where flames serve to fuel darkness instead of light. Inner struggle, strike a path between the forces of light and darkness in a tug of war between sin and integrity. Action combat, fight against multiple opponents at once in satisfying, fast-paced combat. Experience the mythos of Diablo with all its unbridled potential now in your hands. Okay, sounds pretty good. I did notice also right here, crafting the best Diablo experience. It actually gives you a survey over here. I haven't gone through here and done it yet, but it gives you a survey about Diablo and your experience with it and what you want out of the RPG. Sounds like something I should do. So anyway, that was pretty cool. And Robert says, and it can execute code too. It's a total game changer. The Lady of Pain says, it's a picture of my sister. Anyway, okay, so we need to get to our sacraments this morning. I guess, like I said, I'm kind of dragging this morning, but we need to do those. So before we go back and take a look at GPT and see what Robert has done here, because you're right, and Robert's right, it can execute code too, so you should be able to tell it. Well, it should also be able to write code for you. So if you have it, ChatGPT write code for you that you need to execute inside another GPT, then it should be able to do that. Okay, so we could get really sophisticated here. I was thinking about that yesterday when it was doing the kind of choose your own adventure style book. And I think that's good because I want to do like a choose your own adventure book, like in Rabavania eventually. I was like, oh, this could help write this. But on the other hand, having it be choose your own adventure as a GPT, as an AI, is kind of missing the point. It's not missing the point if you're deliberately trying to constrain the choices that you do. Like if you're playing with a kid, instead of being so open-ended, okay, here are your 3 choices. Then it still makes sense, even in the context of an AI-driven thing. But it doesn't so much, one of the advantages of choose your own adventure, but without choices, but with with an infinite answer option, is that the AI should be able to fill those things in. So maybe we want it to get away from that. We will see. Okay, let me bring up. Let me remove this. Maybe I'll get some inspiration from Stephen Pressfield this morning. All right, let's breathe and sip. Got my drink this morning. Fish do not drink tea, mug. All right. 2 deep breaths. Deep inhale, complete exhale, and then take a sip of your favorite beverage. Let's do that twice. And sip. All right. Here's our reading from The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Fear. Resistance feeds on fear. And remember, if you're new or if you're new here, resistance is everything that stops us from being what we want to be, especially in the creative realm. Resistance feeds on fear. We experience resistance as fear. But fear of what? Fear of the consequences of following our heart. Fear of bankruptcy. Fear of poverty. Fear of insolvency. Fear of groveling when we try to make it on our own. And of groveling when we give up and come crawling back to where we started. Fear of being selfish, of being rotten wives or disloyal husbands. Fear of failing to support ourselves, of sacrificing their dreams for ours. Fear of betraying our race, our hood, our homies. Fear of failure, fear of being ridiculous, fear of throwing away the education, the training, the preparation that those we love have sacrificed so much for, and that we ourselves have worked our butts off for. Fear of launching into the void, of hurtling too far out there. Fear of passing some point of no return, beyond which we cannot recant, cannot reverse, cannot rescind, but must live with this cocked up choice for the rest of our life. Fear of madness, fear of insanity, fear of death. These are serious fears, but they are not the real fear, not the master fear, the mother of all fears that is so close to us that we even, that when we verbalize it, we don't believe it. Fear that we will succeed, that we can access the powers we secretly know or possess. What we can become, that we can become the person we sense in our hearts we truly are. That's the most terrifying prospect a human being can face, because it ejects him all at one go, he imagines, from all the tribal inclusions his psyche is wired for and has been for 50 million years. We fear discovering that we are more than we think we are, more than our parents, children, teachers think we are. We fear that we actually possess the talent that our still small voice tells us, that we actually have the guts, the perseverance, the capacity. We fear that we can truly steer our ship, plant our flag, reach our promised land. We fear this, if it's true, then we become estranged from all we know. We pass through a membrane. We become monsters and monstrous. We know that if we embrace our ideals, we must prove worthy of them. And that scares the hell out of us. What will become of us? We will lose our friends and family who will no longer recognize us. We will wind up alone in the cold void of starry space with nothing and no one to hold on to. Of course, this is exactly what happens. But here's the trick. We wind up in space, but not alone. Instead, we are tapped into the unquenchable, undepletable, inexhaustible source of wisdom, consciousness, companionship. Yet we lose our friends, but we find friends too, in places we never thought to look. And they're better friends, truer friends, and we're better and truer to them. Do you believe me? All right. We cannot let our fear of success change us. Okay, let's see here. By the way, on the subject of the Roman Empire, I watched a really good video. Just talking about the Byzantine Empire count, to me it does. There was a really good, Byzantine, Byzantine fire ships. Yeah, it was from Kings and Generals. So it just on the subject of the Roman Empire, if you're looking for something very interesting on Byzantine fire ships and the history of the Byzantine Navy, it's like 15 minutes. But I did really Byzantine Navy, Greek fire, especially the Greek fire on board Byzantine Navy ships. There we go. That's a good. Was a really fun watch. Okay, so let's go back over here. Let me take that down. I'll bring up Chat GPT and also go over and see if I can get a link from Robert. Innerlight says, one of the things that's weird about creating a GPT is that it says it cannot access the rules PDF I uploaded, but it does seem to have a full understanding of the rules now. Something's up. Oh, okay, so I was actually just listening. So one of the things while I was just sitting here kind of staring blankly this morning was listening to somebody who actually, they were also talking about this, and they were saying that one of the problems that apparently other people have discovered, which is I think what you're talking about right now, we've got the two different sides of this window up right here. The create section, and then over here is the previewing of the app that you're creating, or the GPT that you're creating. And he was saying that he would upload a file, and that, when he's talking to the builder side of it, can you read it and can you access this? And it would say yes, no problem, and ask it questions, and it would know. But then when it went over into the actual app side of things, it would start saying that it doesn't know. No, I don't have that information. I don't have that information. And he was having to fight with it. He's like, no, no, I know you have that information. Don't lie to me. So it did have, and then it would give up the information. So there's something weird going on, because we kind of had that as well. Now that was not in the GPT builder side of things, but when I gave it the PDF and then asked it questions that I knew were in the PDF, it would say, oh, I couldn't. It was like it was trying to run a search or something, not understanding the text contextually or something. So that does appear that there's something up, and it's something that people are experiencing. Other people have been experiencing. So we'll just have to check that out. So, and I it might be something they have to solve on their end, because we don't really want to have to coax. We don't want the GPT to be lying to us about not having some information. No, especially when that's its purpose, to be able to access information, and you have to cajole it. Robert was talking about having to cajole this with the prompting sometimes as well. PH says, hey guys, have you checked out the AI pen from Humane? I remember it from a TED talk. It was not long ago, and they are already launching it. I do not know what that is. The AI pen from Humane? Oh, wait. No, I know what this is. Okay, I didn't know the name of that. Where did I see that? Okay, I'll show you what. So this is what you're talking about right here. No, I did see this. So the Byzantine Navy right there. It's like a Star Trek communicator, right? The comm badge. So it says smartphone alternative. Humane AI pen. So PIN. I didn't see a TED talk on it, but I just saw somebody mention it the other day. May have been yesterday. It's pricey. Starts at $6.99. But what does it do? Beyond touch, beyond screens. Yeah. It writes this laser thing into your hand. So if you need it to some kind of control interface, it'll use a laser, whatever they call that, to project what's up, the interface onto your hand, or I guess other surface, but intended to be on your hand. The Star Trek comm badges couldn't do that. Laser ink. Tilt and roll your hand to interact with the display. Laser ink display. Watch your hand become a display for menus, experiences, and more by lifting and tilting the palm. Yeah, tilt and roll your hand to interact with the display. Close your fingers to make a click, it says. Okay, but touch and hold. Ask your API pin. Somebody really needs to get the license for this Star Trek logo, the Starfleet emblem, so it can actually be a comm badge. Ask your AI pin anything, anywhere, anytime, because that's. I mean, I don't know if that's high fashion or not. But ask your AI pen anything, anywhere, at any time, just using your voice while holding the touchpad. Hold down the touchpad with 2 fingers enables the interpreter. It's supposed to also, it's supposed to have like a universal universal translator on there, right? So, so that's somebody's trying to make the comm badge. Oh, James says, I bought a 1/6 scale Legionnaire figure over the weekend. I'll have to post pictures in Discord. Yes, please do. So Robert says you have to go over to configure and adjust the instructions. So here is okay. So in this case, so I would guess this can be a lot. So there isn't a whole lot of so this was whatever I wrote in the beginning when I was trying to make mine. But I guess these instructions can get a lot more sophisticated. See now, because I was wondering how I recreate this. For instance, yesterday or just this morning, I said we need to adjust a couple of things. First, there are no humans in the world of Rabavania, because I did notice that when I came back to it, okay, my conversation isn't saved. So whatever I did to create this isn't here, because I was thinking that what I would like to do, or would potentially want to be able to do, is if I got this working well, okay, but this is the first time I've ever been through it. There's probably more efficient ways for me to do it. I'd want to be able to copy everything that I did that's actually making this happen, and then look at it, improve it, remove what I actually don't need, just save what's best, copy it, and then put it into a new GPT. But so it did not save my conversation history here with whatever I had done previously to create this. But I did say, for instance, welcome back. It says, is there anything I could be doing better? And I said, yeah. First, there are no humans in the world of Rabavania. Therefore, this GPT should never refer to humans or men in the game. Got it. I've updated Tales Rabavania Chronicles to ensure the narrative is consistent with a world without humans. Players get to experience the richness of a rabbit society and adventures without any reference to humans. Okay, fantastic, if that's true. Anything else you would like to adjust? And then I need to tell it I don't need fantasy races in here, because it had me talking about the dwarves of the Iron Hills last time. But okay, it accepted that. It accepted this instruction about Rabavania not having humans in it. But I don't really know where that is. But the instructions here, I guess we can get much more sophisticated with this. Conversation starters, we got to fix that up. Knowledge. Conversations with your GPT may include file contents. Files may be downloaded. Files can be downloaded when code interpreter is enabled. Okay. Now, people were also talking about that. So the files can be downloaded when code interpreter is enabled. I know people are probably not going to want to have that, because for instance, I would want, if you publish this out, I would want people to be able to interact with this text-based adventure game. I don't want them to download the world book. I'll put the world book as a PDF someplace else. You shouldn't be able to download the world book basically for free, but this needs to access the world book and use it. So, but why would all of a sudden these become downloadable when the code interpreter is enabled? I don't get that. Why is that? Capabilities, web browsing, DALL-E image generation is on. Code interpreter. Code interpreter lets your GPT run code. I think this is what Robert was talking about a moment ago. When enabled, your GPT can analyze data, work with files you've uploaded, and do math and more. No, wait a minute. So do I have to... This is turned off. I'm going to turn it on. Now it says work with files you've uploaded. But it should surely not just read it. Surely I don't have to have that on in order to get it to actually access the data. Actions. Let your GPT retrieve information or take actions outside of GPT. Okay, this was the API stuff that I was wanting to. I thought, hey, I'll sit here this morning and figure this out, but I haven't figured that part out yet. Robert probably already knows. So I was like, what do we need to do for this? Is probably going to be some of the most valuable stuff that's in a GPT. If people come up with real sophisticated API interactions, and then additional settings. Use conversation data in your GPT to improve our models. Okay. No need to fight the chat. Adjust the instructions. Okay, so we need to include that in the instructions. Let's see. All right, so let me say over here, a file. A PDF file of the Tales of Rabavania World Book has been made available to you. Always reference this information reference this document to determine if there is any relevant information to an action and use it as appropriate. Make sure nothing in the game contradicts any information in the world book. Save. I don't want to make it public. How do I just save? Oh, look. Oh, I actually published it out. I wasn't trying to do that yet. Oh, now I've got unpublished changes. Okay, well, see, that's the kind of stuff we're learning here. Hey, Jason. Yeah, that's my familiar just hovering over your shoulder. I did send you some Byzantine mosaic images in Discord. Oh, okay, thank you. I'll check those out. Robert says you can instruct it to follow the book, but very important chatbot instructions for how it responds, etc. You can easily lose the you can easily lose the choose your own adventure aspect. I imagine the code interpreter is probably probably for Excel uploads and the like. Yeah, it did say like interact with data, so yeah, that could be like if you're going to be processing data with it, I can switch it over. Okay, let me see what's going on with Okay, so we can do graphics now. Okay, let's go over and see what's going on with Robert. Okay, so this is, I believe, okay, this should be the new link. Oh, wait, what does that say? It says interactive fiction game with 8-bit graphics. Type start to begin. If graphics don't display, type don't forget to display graphics to the game. All right. Okay, so this is cool. So, all right, so it's going to display graphics. Let's see. Start. Okay, we went through the beginning yesterday. I'll play as the knight. We've got broken pillars, a fractured altar, and a faded mural depicting the history of Tartarus. We are in a ruined temple. We can go north to the plains of sorrow, east to the caverns of echoing dread, up a crumbling path leading to a precarious cliffside. Okay. Is it going to show me a graphic? Well, before I ask it that, I'll tell it to play as suzerain. Well, I can say both at the same time. Play as suzerain. And by the way, don't forget to display graphics. Creating images, it says. I'm wondering how sophisticated I can get with this instructions and typing out exactly what I want, because there's the issue that it's a large language model. It's an AI. It should be smart, but it probably needs a lot of instruction. That's what I found when I'm doing the art kind of thing too. Oh, look. So cool. So there is the knight that I'm playing as. In 8-bit graphics. That's kind of neat. But really neat. But I was thinking, but probably in the same way that, okay, it doesn't actually know what's in your mind. Like the same kind of philosophy with the diffusion models. You still really have to articulate exactly what it is that you're looking for in order for it to create what you want. It probably needs also, therefore, a lot of instruction to create exactly what it is that I want. Oh, it will usually display the first image when you display a character. Okay. So let's see. It says, okay, let's see. Lynn says, large language models should be smart, but then so should humans, and they often disappoint. Yes, that's true. But yes, that can be true. But also, another human doesn't know what's in your mind either. If you're like working, another human doesn't understand either. But if then, okay, write these instructions for exactly what you want as if you were giving them to another human who's going to then code and write up this game for you to play. That person's got to know exactly what it is that you want. But if I can, whether it's going to be done by a large language model or it's going to be built by a human, you've got to know exactly what you want and be able to specify exactly what you want. But if you can just hand it over to the large language model and have it execute, well, that's fantastic. Okay, so it updated our knight again. Yeah, the text version is faster. Yeah, you said in there that you said I think up above that the image generation does slow it down. Now, okay, but here's what I would say is that you don't really need to generate something. Well, no, you do. I guess it depends on how open world you want it to be. What I was about to say is that I don't really need probably to have it generate an image every single time. I just need it to be able to recall an image. So if you've got for instance, we got these 3 characters right here. Well, what if you generated them using whatever diffusion model you wanted until you found exactly, okay, that's exactly for my world what these three characters look like. Can I give those JPEGs to ChatGPT? And then whenever it needs to show the image of that character, bring up that image for you. Or like if you were generating like this, you're always going to start in the ruins here. So if you, I think, but let's say you're doing a game, we're always going to start in the ruins. It doesn't need to generate an all new ruins picture every time you log in. It should be able to recall the picture of what the ruins actually look like. Lynn says you have to just describe the agony of coding to a spec document. Yes. Because, it understands some things that are out there, but it doesn't understand in excruciating detail exactly how you want this to work. Okay, so let's see. Let's go explore. Go east to the caverns of echoing dread. See if it gives us a picture of the location. Let's see what it says. Okay, you stride with purpose toward the east, leaving the ruined temple behind. The ground beneath your boot crunches with debris of the past as you approach the entrance to the caverns of echoing dread. The ominous name does little to deter you, after all. Confronting dread is a knight's calling. The cat, like, how would you keep track of time? How many rations have you got? Do you put all that in the instructions? Exits. Is it going to generate a picture? The caverns stretch out, a network of possibilities and peril. The silence is deceptive, for the very rocks seem to hold their breath. Oh, I didn't get a picture of the echoing dread. Hey, what is the... Hey, you didn't generate a picture. What do the caverns of echoing dread look like? What does what does the caverns of echoing dread look like? Yep. This is so weird. I mean, just in general, the I guess I wouldn't. Of course, I don't know. I wasn't expecting to have all of this, I suppose, at this moment, but I wasn't expecting it to behave in this kind of way. Where you're like, now make sure you remind it that it's supposed to be like it's a computer. It shouldn't need a reminder. You told it to make a picture, and so it should be making pictures. You would think that's the way this would go, but I wasn't prepared, I suppose, to basically have to hypnotize the AI into doing what you want it to do. You like have to become right. And Robert's excellent at this, but like the AI whisperer. Yes, it will do it, but it's not you have to hypnotize it and cajole it into doing exactly what you want to do at the current point of technology, which is not something that I was expecting. Kind of funny. Okay, AI, we know you can do it. We know you can do it. Yes, so the image generation is slow, but if you're going to standard places, like if we're going to have this adventure, the art of persuasion, yes, you have to persuade the AI to do whatever it's trying to do. But if you, of course, it depends on what you're trying to create. If you're trying to do something completely open world, there we go. The caverns of echoing, the the cavers of echoing dread. Yep. We're still seeing what we can do here. It's kind of a chill morning here. Right. Give it a snack. Right. Make sure. So, but actually, so there are some generators that will use text. Yeah, I had to go remind my GPT about stuff too. And if you know, then you can remind it. Hey, look, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. I got to remind you what you're supposed to be doing. But if you're using it for somebody else, then they're not going to know to remind it. See you later, Interlight. Because they don't really understand. I mean, so that's got to be fixed. We got to get to a point in order to make this really useful. Lynn says, I can't complain about the graphics once you've nagged it into producing them. Yeah, I know. So, I mean, that works really well. So some of the generator, and that's actually reasonable text. It's not right. The cavers of echoing dread. But it sure is a lot better than it used to be. I know there are some generators that will do text. They figured that out. Because like Midjourney originally and DALL-E and stuff like that was not ever going to do text. If you were trying to do something do a picture of a cafe and the name of the cafe is whatever. It doesn't do that. It couldn't write that text. And then they could kind of write that text like this. That's pretty close. I mean, that's getting close. But I know there are generators that will be able to put text in images. So that's coming. That's coming. Yeah. So Robert did a good job with the chosen styling in here. That's nice. Okay, well, that's cool. But it seems like you really got to know what the purpose is, what you're trying to build with this purpose, and then write out a whole bunch of instructions, because that is bizarre. Okay, it's going back here. I want to edit Rabavania Chronicles here. See, it says once again, is there anything that you'd like to change? So where did it save my information about, hey, there are no... This does say, ensure all narrative interactions are consistent with the lore and mechanics detailed in the world book, focusing on the rich tapestry of rabbit society and excluding human... No, it does. Okay, so it updated. So excluding human references. Okay, so let's see how this changes. Ensure. So it did put that in here. So it's not exactly what I wrote. It rewrote it and put it over here. Okay, wait a minute. I'm going to copy this because I want to give it another instruction and I want to see what it does. I'll just put this over here in a text file. And it would be nice, like if you were trying to do a game about exploring a certain location, you just can't leave the location. You're playing this game at this particular location. Well, then your images could be pre-generated. Now, what you do in there can be made up, but that way you're not asking the AI to be completely open world. Now, you could if that's what you want, but if you were trying to get it to go faster, like this is what this room looks like, this is what that room looks like. This is what the NPCs inside look like. Okay, so I've got a copy of that. So now I'm going to go back over here to create. Is there anything you'd like to change? Yes. This world should not include any fantasy races. Any classic fantasy races. From Tolkien or any other source. There are no dwarves. So, for instance, there are no dwarves, elves, or no dwarves, elves, orcs, or hobbits in Rabavania. The GPT should never mention them. Okay, so now let's see how it revises that. So that would be nice that if it cleans it up, so you can build it conversationally, but its instructions are not exactly what you write. This is interesting. Lynn says, I suspect that 6 months or a year from now, this sort of thing will run much more smoothly and intuitively. AI is advancing so quickly. Oh, I know. I'm thrilled with it. And that's why I keep trying to see exactly when do I jump in on all of this. When exactly do I jump in? What can it do right now? Is it good enough to do something right now, or do we still need to wait another 6 months? Lynn says, and that makes me wonder if Hasbro realizes what a threat this poses to their business model. Don't like their stuff or think it's too expensive? Get an AI to custom generate a gaming world for you. Oh, and be sure to save it. Yes. Okay. So, okay, it says, I've updated the GPT to ensure it reflects the unique setting of Rabavania without referencing classic fantasy races. The changes will focus on the richness of the rabbit society and individual roles within it, steering clear of traditional fantasy elements. If you have any more adjustments or new features in mind, let me know. Okay, so I'm going to go over to configure. And now it says over here in instructions, keep the narrative focused on rabbit characters and exclude any mention of traditional fantasy races, such as elves, dwarves, orcs, or hobbits, to maintain the unique setting of Rabavania. When in doubt, or to verify actions against the world's lore, refer to the Tales of Rabavania World Book as the primary source. Engage players with challenges and stories that encourage creative problem solving and role playing within the established world parameters. It's crucial to foster a game environment that's rich with originality and steers clear of traditional fantasy tropes. Does it still have humanless world? Well, now, okay, so it used to be that this said the phrase in there was, oh, it also removed my specific instructions. So it did rewrite this. Because it used to say rich tapestry of rabbit society, excluding any human references. So it doesn't say that anymore. Huh. So what you're doing as you're trying to talk to it is trying to configure this instructions, this prompt. So this is like its prompt then. Conversation starters. Like, see, now I'm thinking that what I should do if I were to restart this is to say, all right, I want to create one that is just about the knight. Like, don't try to tackle too much, but say we're going to be a knight on, or just one that is just the witch, or one that's just the druid. And then tailor everything like a solo adventure to just playing that type of character. And put it around one location. I wonder if that's something that would be easier to do and easier for it to keep track of. There are other animals in Rabavania, aren't there? I wonder if it's smart enough not to exclude those as well. Yeah, I wonder that too. Yeah, I'll update it to only me. I wonder about that too. Now, the World Book does include talk about rabbits and raccoons rather, and mice. So it does talk about other things. Okay, so I also one of the things we didn't get to do yesterday. We were trying to see how well it understands a battle map yesterday, and kind of got to trying to see if it could fight this out or something. I was going to ask it one thing that I was going to ask this, because I was going to ask it how far away, is I was going to see if it understands some idea of spatial relationships. In the battle map, how far away are the orcs from the adventuring party? Or maybe I should have said from the female dwarf. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm pretty sure there are no raccoons mentioned in Tolkien's works. But I'm sure that mice are mentioned in passing. I bet it's not going to be that detailed. I bet. I guess we would have to see. Whoa, okay. It says, based on the image of the battle map you provided earlier, the distance between the orcs and the adventuring party can be estimated using the grid. Each square on the grid typically represents a 5 foot by 5 foot area. To calculate the distance, you can count the number of squares between characters. If you can provide the grid scale, if it's different from 5 feet per square, or if you want me to estimate based on the standard scale, I can give you an approximation of the distance. However, without the ability to measure directly on the image, I can only provide an estimate. Would you like me to provide the standard estimation? I almost gave it the scale, but it knew that this is typically 5 feet. Yes, please provide the estimation based on the 5 foot scale per square. Let's see how well it does. Looking at the image, here's how you can estimate. I don't want you to. Orcs to the adventuring party. The orcs are scattered, but it looks like the closest orc to the party is approximately 4 squares away. If each square is 5 feet, I mean, this is taking a bit long, but if each square is 5 feet, the orc is about 20 feet away from the nearest adventurer. 1, 2, 3. Whoa! It got it. I would say yes. Oh, over here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. This orc, that orc. That's what it said, right? Well, I'm impressed by that. The furthest orc seems to be around 10 squares away, which would be approximately 50 feet from the party. The furthest orc, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, it missed counting the furthest away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But okay, it didn't say 16. The Chaos Warrior on the left are about 7 squares away, which would make them roughly 35 feet from the nearest adventurer. The skeletons are around 9 squares away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, I mean, generally, these are groups. I mean, I made it harder by not saying just one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. These estimations are based on a direct line and don't account for potential difficult terrain or obstacles that could affect movement, such as trees or the campfire. In a game scenario, characters may need to move around such obstacles, potentially increasing the actual distance traveled. Yeah, I wonder how it deals with that too. I was not expecting it to be able to do that. I was not expecting it to be able to look onto that battle map and come up with that level of detail. So I bet then. Okay, excuse me. I'm still trying to recover here from I'm feeling pretty good, but I'm still trying to recover a little bit. I was not expecting it to be able to do that. So that tells me that it'll be even better here in 6 months at doing that, knowing exactly how many squares are away, probably. But also, it might be that if we wanted to include in the game zone-based adventures, or near far. We really like near far. Where it seems like many of us around here, I do. Instead of trying to adjudicate exact number of squares, just say what's close by, what's nearby, what's far. So it might be able to do that, keep track of that much more easily. We still do need some way to kind of track positions. I mean, that would be fine for me, because I like games that do that anyway. I don't necessarily need to be moving around a guy on individual squares. I mean, it's very tactical combat. Sometimes it's what you want to do, but I don't have to do that for like a text-based adventure game. But it sure would be nice to know what's nearby, what's far away, and so if you had the ranges of different spells, it would know. Huh. Fascinating. Okay. Well, we have been going for an hour here. Now, the next step that I was going to do, but I'm going to save this for tomorrow because, like I said, I'm out of gas. I'm going to go stand up, move around, and clear my mind. There's some other things I got to do this afternoon for the Kickstarter. Maybe I should do that. No, I got to stand up. But anyway, but tomorrow, then I gave it a story, and I want to know if it can create a world around that story. Can it help me create like a world book based on the trial of St. Gabriel? That would also be a game changer. Lynn is talking about the business model here with Wizards of the Coast. Well, it's if you've got a PDF, or it could be a text file, but it says, PDF of any type of story. Man, I really want to play a game in this story, but there's no world book for it. There's no RPG book for it. What if you could give it a story and then have it generate the world book and stuff for you to run in? Man, that would be really interesting. So we'll see how that works tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and close out right here. Jason says, you're doing great. I'm enjoying the series. Thanks for doing this for us. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad this is useful. I mean, this is also showing up this format. First of all, I love the live format because people talk in the chat and make suggestions, and then we get to connect with like Robert, who's doing things, and get to check out what Robert is doing live. If 2 years ago when I was doing YouTube videos, what I would have tried to do is sit down and go, all right, I'm going to make a YouTube video series, or YouTube videos about making a D&D chat GPT. And I'm sure other people are doing that right now. But first of all, I would have to learn. When I was doing standalone videos, I felt like I have to sit down and learn everything about it and then put together an 8-minute video and edit shoot it and then edit it, and it just took way too long. Sitting down and doing these kinds of explorations live is so much more fun. Okay. All right. So everybody, go charge your batteries if you need to. Go forth, be creative, be productive, and grind on. I will see you tomorrow. Later, everybody.